I served for about 9 years in a capacity as councilman, mayor, and so on and so forth. A lot of changes. A lot of changes have been foisted upon most of these towns, particularly suburban towns out here. Affordable housing and the like, all of which we had to wrestle with, which was a challenge, but we managed to do it. I'm extremely proud that we managed to get so many people in town involved as volunteers. We have a tremendous town. And in effect, that's really, to a large extent, what the chamber is. It's a lot of people giving back, and as well as just mingling and understanding each other and so on and so forth. So this is a great night, and we're looking forward to it.
He's very oriented about helping the community as well as the business. The Chamber of Commerce is a business organization who tries to support the community and interact with government, and Bob has made that easy. I'd like you to welcome Bob to the podium. And
I first started coming to these events about 8 or 9 years ago, and there are two things I took away from them very quickly. Number one, obviously, you're an organization which provides an opportunity for local businesses to meet each other and to work on those businesses. And obviously, we're still a capitalistic society, notwithstanding what some people are suggesting otherwise. And that's one of the reasons you do this, and that's a good thing. Okay, but what really stands out about this organization, and I would see it every year when I was here, each of the members of the chamber that I've ever met see beyond their business. They see beyond their interests. They see beyond themselves. And they're constantly talking about their community, trying to make their communities better. We have 3 tremendous towns here who are all, joined together in an association such as this. And that, to me, is what really stood out. And it continues to stand out. And I would like to congratulate each of you, because what you do is a great service to all in your communities. You are making your communities better places to live. Now, I would say this, as an elected official, and I spent 9 years as an elected official, tonight some of those who I worked with are here. They've become dear friends. And, but I want to talk about the people that are not elected officials. And I want to talk about what makes this town, Berkeley Heights, a special place. And I'm sure that each of you in New Providence, some would think likewise, and you have your own individuals that you can think about fitting this bill. I learned very early on as an elected official, one of the obligations we have, particularly in small towns, because you can actually get things done as an elected official in a small town compared to what goes on at the state and national level. You can actually see what you put into play. But what I learned very early on is it's extremely difficult to do it by yourself. Now, I was blessed by having outstanding council people and other individuals, including employees in Berkeley Heights. But what I learned very early on is one of the obligations you should have as an elected official is to create an atmosphere in your town where those people who are not elected but care about your town will step up. And you give them an opportunity to feel comfortable and say, you know what, I not necessarily want to be an elected official, but I have something to offer. Believe me, people in our towns have a lot to offer. And I thought it was our responsibility as elected officials to make an atmosphere, create an atmosphere where that would occur. And in Berkeley Heights, it happened. Because our job is to get things done. And I made a comment, it might have been my last night or so in office. And I read this somewhere, and I think it's extremely appropriate, and I would hope that all of you would give this some consideration, particularly in light of the fact that some of you may be wondering, and really I'm speaking to the choir here because a lot of you are extremely involved in what you do in your towns. There are many people that say, well, I really don't want to get involved because of A, B, or C. More often than not, they don't want to get involved because they're concerned with criticism. They're concerned with someone who won't get into the arena, who will have the comments and so on and so forth. And I read something somewhere one time, and I said, it said briefly, if you are concerned about criticism and being critiqued about what you do, then do nothing. If you are concerned about not being the focal point of someone else's attacks, then say nothing. And if you really are concerned about whether you're going to be the brunt of attacks and so forth, then do nothing. And this is not a group that does nothing. And the group